Aye, but we did not.
Oh, I marvel how such a strong man may let such a sickly wife be.
You'll speak nothing of Elizabeth.
She is blackening my name in the village. She is telling lies about me. She is cold, sniveling woman, and you bend to her. Let her turn you like a...
Do you look for a whipping?
John Proctor that put knowledge in my heart. I never knew what pretense Salem was. I would never knew the lying lesson I was taught by all these Christian women and their covenant men. And now you bid me tear the light out of my eyes. I will not, I cannot. You loved me, John Proctor, and whatever sin it is, you love me yet. John, pity me, pity me. Betty?
What happened? What are you doing to her? Betty!
She heard you singing, and suddenly she's up and screaming.
The psalm, she cannot bear to hear the Lord's name.
Oh, no, God forbid.
Mark it.
That is a notorious sign of witchcraft afoot. Goody nurse, a prodigious sign.
My mother told me that when they cannot bear to hear the name of...
Rebecca, come to her. We're lost. She suddenly cannot bear to hear the Lord's name. There is a hard sickness here.
That's Rebecca.
Oh.
No.
No.
That's
No,
It says right here, it's Rebecca.
it's right here. It still says some Paris.
Oh, whatever.
Guileless Corey, so please to keep the quiet.
I have not said a word. No one here can testify I said a word. Is she going to fly again? I hear she flies. Man, be quiet now.
What have you done?
Pray, calm yourselves. I have 11 children, and I am 26 times your grandma, and I have seen them all through their silly seasons, and when it comes on them, they will run the devil bow-legged, keeping up with their mischief. I think she'll wake when she tires of it. A child's spirit is like a child. You can never catch it by running after it. You must stand still, and for love, it will soon itself come back.
Aye, that's the truth of it, Rebecca.
This is no silly season, Rebecca. My Ruth is bewildered. Rebecca, she cannot eat.
Perhaps she's not hungered yet. Mr. Paris, I hope you're not decided to go in search of loose spirits. I've heard promise of that outside.
A wide opinion's running in Paris that the devil may be among us, and I would satisfy them that they are wrong.
They let you come out and call them wrong. Are you our minister or Mr. Hale? Did you consult the wardens of the church before you called this minister to look for devils?
He is not coming to look for devils.
Then what's he coming for?
There be children dying in the village, mister.
I see none dying.
Pray, John, be calm. Mr. Paris, I think you'd best send Reverend Hale back as soon as he comes. This will set us all to arguing again in the society, and we thought to have peace this year. I think we ought to rely on Dr. Griggs now, and good prayer.
Rebecca, the doctor's baffled.
If so he is, then let us go to God for the cause of it. There is prodigious danger in the seeking of loose spirits. I fear it, I fear it. Let us rather blame ourselves and...
How may we blame ourselves? I am one of 9 sons, the Putnam seed have peopled this province, and yet I have but one child left of 8, and now she shrivels.
I cannot fathom that.
You think it's God's work? You should never lose a child, nor a grandchild either. And I buried all but one.
When Reverend Hale comes, you will proceed to look for signs of witchcraft here.
You cannot command Mr. Paris. We vote by name in the society, not by creage.
I never heard you worried so on this society, Mr. Proctor. I do not think I saw you at Sabbath meetings since Snowflake.
I have trouble enough without I come 5 miles to hear him preach only hellfire and bloody damnation. There are many others who stay away from the church these days because he hardly ever mentioned God anymore.
Why? That's a drastic charge.
It's somehow true. There are many that quail to bring their children.
I do not preach for children, Rebecca. It is not the children who are unmindful of their obligations toward the ministry. Where is my wood? My contract provides I be supplied with all my firewood. I am waiting since November for a stick, and even in November I had to show my frostbitten hands. like some London beggar.
You are allowed £6 a year to buy your wood, Mr. Paris.
I am paid little enough without I spend £6 on firewood. Salary is 66 pound. Mr. Proctor, I am not some preaching farmer with a book under my arm. I am a graduate of Harvard College.
I am well instructed in arithmetic.
Mr. Corey, you will look for a man of my kind at £60 a year. I am not used to this poverty. I left a 60 pound a year. Wait, no, shoot. 30 business. Wait, thrifty. Oh, shit. Thrifty business in the Barbados to serve the Lord. I do not fathom it. Why am I persecuted here? I cannot offer one proposition, but there would be a howling riot of argument. I have often wondered if the devil be in it somewhere. I cannot understand you people otherwise.
Mr. Paris, you are the finest minister ever did demand the deed to this house.
I am your third preacher in 7 years. I do not wish to be put out like the cat. Whenever some majority feels the whim, you people seem not to comprehend that a minister is the Lord's man in the parish. A minister is not to be so lightly crossed and contradicted.
Aye.
There is either obedience or the church will burn like Helen is burning.
Can you speak 1 minute without we land in hell again? I am sick of hell.
It is not for you to say what is good for you to hear.
I may speak my heart, I think.
What? Are we Quakers? We are not Quakers here yet, Mr. Proctor. And you may tell that to your followers.
My followers!
There is a party in this church. I am not blind. There is a faction and a party.
Against you?
Against him and all authority.
Why then I must find it, and join it.
He does not mean that.
He confessed it now.
I mean it solemnly, Rebecca. I like not the smell of this authority. I have a crop to sow and lumber to drag home. What say you, Giles? Let's find that party. He says there is a party.
I've changed my opinion of this man, John. Mr. Paris, I beg your pardon. I never thought you had so much iron in you.
Why, thank you, Giles.
It suggests to the mind that what trouble be among us all these years? Think on it. Wherefore is everybody suing everybody else? Think on it now. It's a deep thing and dark as a pit. I have been 6 times in court this year.
It is the devil's fault that a man cannot say good morning without a clap from him for defamation. You're old, Giles, and you're not hearing as well as you did.
John Proctor, I have only last month collected £4 damages for you publicly saying I burned the roof off your house, and
I never said no such thing, but I paid you for it. So I hope you can call your death without charge. Come along, Giles, and help me drag my lumber home.
A moment, Mr. Proctor. What lumber is that you're dragging, if I may ask you?
My lumber from out my forest by the riverside.
Why, are we surely gone wild this year? What anarchy is this? That tract is in my bounds. It's in my bounds, Mr. Proctor.
In your bounds, I bought that tract from Goody Nurse's husband 5 months ago.
He had no right to sell it. It stands clear in my grandfather's will that all the land between the river and...
Your grandfather had a habit of willing land that never belonged to him, if I may say it plain.
That's God's truth. He nearly willed away my north pasture, but he knew I'd break his fingers before he'd set his name to it. Let's get your lumber home, John. I feel a sudden will to work coming on. You load one oak of mine, and you'll fight to drag it home. Aye, and we'll win too, Putnam. This fool and I. Come on. All of my men on you, Corey. I'll clap a writ on you.
Pray you, someone take these.
Mr. Hale. Oh, it's good to see you again. My, they're heavy.
They must be. They are weighted with authority.
Well, you do come prepared.
We shall need hard study if it comes to tracking down the old wood. You cannot be Rebecca, nurse.
I am, sir. Do you know me?
It's strange how I knew you, but I suppose you look as such a good soul should. We have all heard of your great charities in Beverly.
Do you know this gentleman, Mr. Thomas Putnam, and his good wife, Anne?
Putnam, I am not expected. Wait, where did I go? Sorry. Such distinguished company, sir.
It does not seem to help us today, Mr. Hale. We look to you to come to our house and save our child.
Your child ails too?
Her soul seems flown away. She sleeps and yet she walks.
She cannot eat.
Cannot eat. Do you men also have afflicted children?
No, these are farmers, John Proctor.
He doesn't believe in witches.
I never spoke on witches one way or the other. Will you come, Giles?
No, John, I think not. I have some few queer questions of my own to ask this fellow.
I've heard you be a sensible man, Mr. Hale. I hope you will leave some of it in Salem.
Will you look at my daughter, sir? Let me see. She has tried to leap out the window. We discovered her this morning on the high road, waving her arms as though she'd fly.
Tries to fly.
She cannot bear to hear the Lord's name, Mr. Hale. That's a sure sign of witchcraft afloat.
No. Now let me instruct you now. We cannot look to superstition in this. The devil is precise. The marks of his presence are definite as stone, and we must look only for his proper signs and judge nothing beforehand. And I must tell you all that I shall not proceed unless you are prepared to believe me if I should find no trace of hell in this.
It is agreed, sir. It is agreed. We will abide by your judgment.
Good then. Now, sir, what were your first warning of this strangeness?
Why, sir, I discovered her and my niece Abigail and 10 or 12 of the other girls dancing in the forest last night.
You permit dancing?
No, it were secret.
Mr. Paris, slave has knowledge of conjuring, sir.
We cannot be sure of that, goody Anne.
I know it, sir. I sent my child. She should learn from Tituba, who murdered her sisters.
Goody Ann, you sent a child to conjure up the dead?
Let God blame me, not you, Rebecca. I'll not have you judging me anymore. Mr. Hale, is it a natural work to loosen 7 children before they live a day?
7 dead in childbirth?
What book is that?
What's there, sir?
Here is all the invisible word caught, defined, and calculated. In these books, the devil strands striped of all his brute disguises. Wait, here are your familiar spirits, your incubi and succubi, your witches that go by land, by air, by sea, your wizards of the night and of the day. Have no fear now, we shall find him out if he has come among us, and I mean to crush him utterly if he has shown his face.
Will it hurt the child, sir?
I cannot tell. If she is truly in the devil's grip, we may have to rip and tear to get her free.
I think I'll go then. I am too old for this.
Why, Rebecca, we may open up the boil of all our troubles today.
Let us hope for that. I go to God for you, sir.
I hope you do not mean we go to Satan here.
I wish I knew.
Come, Mr. Hale, let's get on. Sit you here. Mr. Hale, I've always wanted to ask a learned man, what signifies the reading of strange books?
What books?
I cannot tell, she hides them.
Who does this?
Martha, my wife. I have waked at night many a time and found her in a corner, reading of a book. Now what do you make of that?
Why? That's not necessary.
It discomfits me. Last night, mark this, I tried and could not say my prayers. And then she closed her book and walks out of the house, and suddenly, mark this, I can pray again.
The stoppage of prayer. That is strange. I'd like to speak further on that with you.
I'm not saying she's touched the devil now, but I'll admire to know what books she reads and why she hides them. She'll not answer me, you see.
I will discuss it. Now mark me, if the devil is in her, you will witness some frightful wonders in this room. So please to keep your wits about you. Mr. Putnam, stand close in case she flies. Now Betty dear, will you sit up? Can you hear me? I am John Hale, minister of Beverly. I've come to help you, dear. Do you remember my 2 little girls in Beverly?
How can it be the devil? Why would he choose my house to strike?
What victory would the devil have to win a soul already had? It is best the devil wants, and who is better than the minister?
That's deep, Mr. Paris, deep, deep.